Hey, welcome to another episode of Dave's Imaginations. Today we're going to wrap up. We're going to review, talk through our adventure from Thursday, January 26th of Dave's Imaginations presents Dark Queen Ascension, The Fallen. We're going to go all through that in just a moment. Stay with me. Last met our adventurers. They had traveled into the High Moor Swamp, a day's travel into the swamp, led by Celia with their horses. They had cast a walk on water on their horses as they walked through the swamp to this troll's hut, troll's encampment in the middle of the swamp. Celia had promised that this troll was a kind troll, and sure enough, when they got there, the troll was kind, although he was cutting his finger off into a boiling cauldron and making some sort of healing potion as the adventurers could watch the fingers grow back, and at one point he cut off the hand and it grew back, and they had taken this potion, and the troll every once in a while go back behind his hut and do something. And through the course of the evening they kept doing this, and then finally it came time for rest. And on Christiana's watch, she went around the back of the house and saw this largest crocodile she'd ever seen. Had a big gash on its side, and the seemingly Gesundti, that's the name of the troll, Gesundti was healing this croc. And at the end of her shift, Christiana went back and got Strider, our elf, who only needs 4 hours of meditation. He takes his shift and is warned about the croc, and he's wandering around and he sees that there's a croc, but he sees off on the side these will-o-wisps. And as the will-o-wisps come, he goes and get lock up, but Strider goes out and tries to sweep these wisps away with a gust of wind. And then at that point, I rolled on fate chart to see if they would press attack, but on the fate chart it said there was going to be a random encounter with dominate and stalemate as clues, and it's going to be a random encounter, unexpected event. And I decided that meant that also the will-o-wisps dispersed, right? and we decided that this meant that where those will-o-wisps were, right there was this flail saw, a full-size adult flail saw, and it's all large, exactly what the group is looking for, because they need the steel mill for its shell, for its anti-magic properties, that they were hoping to grind up that shell into some sort of bomb that they could eventually blow up the masts of the dragon masts. And so right here it is, and so they start to go and they start to figure out what to do. Try to put this fingers of stone around it, and it starts to beat its way out. And as all this is happening, everyone else is waking up, including Gesundti, who runs out there and to check what's going on. And he checks on his crocodile and looks and sees that the party is starting to attack the snail, and he says, "You better not hurt my snail. Hurt the snail." But then as the party starts to attack it, the spells reflect off of the snail, and he starts to laugh and laugh and laugh. And he was laughing until Ruckus attacked the snail. Ruckus dives in and becomes his full were-shark form, dives in and does a mighty, I think he got a critical, he grabs the snail, rips it out of the shell, and just starts eating it whole. He killed the snail, and we just fluffed that, right? But with that, the troll goes crazy. As he sees the snail being killed, and he's like, "No!" As he's the caretaker of the swamp, and he says, he runs up there, and this is kind of where the night began. He runs up there, and he's, "I curse upon you 100 times 100 curses. Made the wildfire." Looked up the god of creatures is Sylvanus, and the Sylvanus is also called the wildfire. Sound perfect for a troll. "May the wildfather curse you 100 times 100, and may you live long and suffer from the curses for killing this rare snail of the swamp." And this Gesundti, the troll, runs up, grabs Ruckus by the hair. Oh, I skipped. I skipped the whole transaction of Strider at one point had drawn these claws and used the magic ability and gave Strider a corrosive swipe across his chest, opening a gash just enough such that Bookworm had was holding apart Gesundti and Ruckus, and so just long enough for Christiana to go teleport up in there behind Ruckus with her magical syringe of anti-lycanthropy. Now remember, Christiana is a monster hunter, and she specifically specializes in the hunting of were-creature lycanthropes, and so she has this anti-lycanthrope serum as well as anti-lycanthrope manacles. And so she goes up there, injects him with this syringe, and transforms him back into the human form of Ruckus. And so that is when with the force shield dispersed, Gesundti runs up and says, "You're lucky I'm a pacifist. Otherwise I'd be feeding you to the denizens of the swamp." As he runs up and grabs Ruckus by the hair, drags him onto the bank of the swamp, and yanks at a fistful of hair and takes a piece of cloth off of his tunic and a handful of mud and starts forming a humanoid shape and starts poking it in the chest. Cusses upon cusses upon cusses. And with that, this gash across his chest, Ruckus's gash scabs over, but not with a normal scab, but with the scab of a pure gold in the scab on a wound that won't ever heal, and his hit points are reduced by the amount of that wound. And that's the first of the curses that Ruckus will experience as we went through. And I demonstrated that I found this table of curses, 100 curses, and we would periodically roll to see which curse he would be under at any given time. That they would last, I don't know, anywhere from a couple days to a week or more. And I told him I hadn't really decided. I think I'm going to roll for it. And so I showed him this curse, and we rolled for it, and that's what he had. This curse of any wound turns to gold and doesn't heal, and his hit points reduced. But when that was gone, we would replace that, and then he would eventually heal. But he is cursed, and the curse will be one after another. He will continue to be cursed. One curse will replace the other. And the only way that he can mitigate this curse, on any given curse, he can mitigate it. Yes, he could do the remove curse spell, but not alone wouldn't be enough. He would also have to do some sort of heroic saving of a creature or beast. And with those two things, he could remove that curse, but not have no thought that curse is ultimately ended, as at some point the curse will return until the Wildfather is satisfied that Ruckus has learned his lesson. With that, the troll says, "Get out! You are no longer welcome here." And he tells Celia to leave. And so they gather their horses. They gather the shell. They put the shell on the back of the one of the horses, and Strider summons his goat. He has this goat of wondrous power. So with that, they are able to flee the swamp. Now, this was all at 4 a.m. in the middle of their long rest, and they hadn't finished their long rest. Only one that finished their long rest was Strider. Everyone else hadn't finished their long rest. And as they start making their way out of the swamp, and then, as the sun rises on the swamp, we pan to Gloin, who unfortunately missed this entire battle. But Gloin, back in Avernus, all right, the ghost of Gloin is in the mortal world, but in Avernus, the first of the 9 hells is Gloin, who's cowering amongst this hell where the demons are battling devils, and he's cowering, and he starts to hear this feel more than hear this vibration. Whoa, hear this vibration but then he hears the flapping of wings and the roar of a dragon. Not one roar, not 2, but 5 roars of a dragon. Roar, as something is flapping, and just as it's about to come in vision, this sound, this vibration pulls him into the mortal world, and that's when the rest of the party They see glowing come, and they hear the sound of the Drakhorn. The Drakhorn is this mighty horn that summons dragons, and they know the end has begun as these dragons are being summoned to the Well Dragons. Their ultimate goal is to get the Well Dragons and break up this ritual that will return Tiamat. Is he coming? Oh my goodness. But not yet. We know this is the beginning of the end. Time is near. And so our adventurers make haste to get out of the swamp. They come out of the swamp as they find the tradeway path from Waterdeep to Baldur's Gate. And Celia says, I'll follow you to the split. I know you are wanting to go to find a mill. The mill you will seek is in the town of Subar, beyond the Borsker Bridge. Just 5 days travel that way. But I will not pass that way. The path would normally cut south to Baldur's Gate, and that is guarded and well traveled. But this path, this south and east path, is not as well guarded and more risky, and I'm not willing to go there. Farewell. Good luck on your quest. And she bids them farewell, and they go on their way. But before they do, they need to figure out how to transport this shell, as the go only lasted 1 day. So they found some travelers, and they negotiated to take over their caravan and paid them off in the form of a broadsword and a bag of magic beans and 500 gold pieces. So they bought 2 horses and a cart, a covered wagon, and they pushed out the people of the caravan. They took all the stuff they could carry so they could make it back home, and our party pushed out just enough stuff out of the wagon so they could fit their shell in there, and they made their way to Subar. And along the way, I think we rolled for a new curse for Ruckus. I don't have it. I'll bring it up here, but that's what. So right there, that's it. But then we make our way into Subar, and this town is war torn. The buildings are half demolished. It seems to be somewhat of a ghost town as they go over a bridge and into town, and it's got this western feel to it, right? They come into town, and there's a wall around the outskirts of the town, and they coming up to the first of these gates to get inside the walled town. And as they come around the path to find this gate opening, as if they've been noticed, somebody has seen them coming, and the gate opens, and stepping out from behind the gate is this Tabaxi, and I can just picture her wearing some sort of hat, and she's got boots with spurs, and she sees them, and then in a flick of an eye, she draws her gun, and bang, shoots, and just barely misses Olak and something behind them, and falls to the ground. I'll turn to look as this were-rat returns to form as this blue creature, but there's a second were-rat. Second were-rat looks at them, looks at it, picks up this bag, the bag that they see that Minnie has been captured in, and this were-rat grabs the bag to its chest and dives into the weeds and transforms into a rat and scurries away. Strider turns into a badger and tries to ferret him out, badger him out, as he goes down into these tunnels. But as soon as he gets down, you can see that these tunnels, they splinter off in all sorts of different directions. Within a course of 6 seconds, 30 seconds, they could have gone any number of different way. And he tries for quite a while, but cannot find where this rat went. Minnie has been lost. Minnie has been kidnapped. Minnie is gone. Now, Olak is beside himself. He is, oh my God, he's gone. But this Tabaxi, dust in the wind, says, there's nothing you can do for him now. Come, let's come into the tavern and we'll discuss what we should do next. And she directs them in, and she explains to them that yes, this town is war torn, and these are the rest of the refugees of the town. There's some dozen of them, a couple dozen of them, but any visitors are abducted by these were-rats, and Christiana is able, as a monster her she is able to identify the creatures that's were-rat when they transform into when they die, they transform into normal being, and they turn their X-Varts, X-V-A-R-T, X-Varts, blue hairy creatures, small size humanoids, and they're X-Varts, and so what is going on with these? Why are they kidnapping all these people? And he says, the Dust Wind says, well, maybe we can. I would very much like to figure out where their den is, so we can end this. And yeah, so I know Olak really wants to do that too. And so they set up a trap. And they have Christiana's Delta. I remember this Delta because it's dog, right? Delta Omni Gamma. I think that's right. Delta. They put Delta out on this path, kind of wandering back and forth, thinking that at some point the were-rats are going to try to abduct it. And they are right. At some point, the rats come out of the forest and kind of surround Delta. And the other part of the trap was that Gloin would be there, and Gloin would try to possess the were-rats. And certainly at some point, almost out of thin air, as if coming out of the invisibility spell, the were-rats appear and with a bag, and they throw this bag over Delta. And as he does that, Gloin goes to try to possess one of the were-rats. But these were-rats resist. I think they needed 17, 18, and they rolled like a 19 or 20, and they resist the possession and reject him, and he starts getting away. And then our team is they're going crazy as they're throwing anything they can at him to try to prevent these were-rats from getting away. Eventually, hit one of them with a couple of spells to really hurt it, but not quite enough, as they do eventually get the opportunity, the were-rats, with the bag and Delta, they transform into rats, and they scurry down into the holes underneath the forest. But at that time, everyone rushes out of their hiding spots, and Gloin does this psychic attack, some cone of 60 feet, and into these holes, and at some point, Christiana had been able to do like a hunter's mark, I think it is, and to figure out, and after this psychic attack, Christiana could tell that the were-rat had died, and it was somewhere underneath in these holes. And so Strider does his disrupt earth cantrip, and he starts digging up the ground looking for this were-rat. And eventually they do find the bluish body of one of these X-Varts, and it does have the bag. Whew, it does have the bag, but the other were-rat seemingly got away. So they take all of that and they go back into the tavern, and this by now it's late in the day, and they start talking about what they might do next. And they decide to take a long rest. How will they capture one of these were-rats? This is what they contemplate as they go through the rest of the evening. And what do you think they might do? How do you think we might be able to abduct one of these were-rats? Their first plan was put out this dog Delta as bait, but would the were-rats really fall for that trick again? As they seem to be, they thwarted it once, but would they really try it again, thinking that something would be up? I think our team needs a new plan. What do you think they should do? One idea was have Gloin possess Olak and have Olak be the bait. Maybe that's what we'll do. Let me know. Do you think that would work? Do you have a different plan? Let me know. And oh yes, there is a mill in this town, but hey, we've got this problem. Help us take care of this problem. You can use that mill all you want. That's the plan. That's the idea, and that is what we hope to do next week. So thank you so much for joining me for this. I appreciate it, and hope you can watch our episodes live. We're live every Thursday night, If you don't mind, if you would hit that like and subscribe button, I appreciate it. There's also a bell there you can hit for notifications. Anytime I go live, it'll send you an alert. You can hit that. And leave a comment. I appreciate the comments. I think it really helps. I love seeing them. If for no other reason, I love the attention, right? So I appreciate it. Hopefully you can get with us on Thursday night. Otherwise, we'll have another recap next week. And until then, I appreciate it. Take care.